Welcome to Lakers Central, where I discuss the most famous basketball team on the planet with the biggest, brightest, and up-and-coming voices in sports and culture. Before you forget, please go to LakersCentral.com and scroll down to the bottom of the page and sign up for our newsletter. Subscribers are eligible for special giveaways and content. Shout out to Troy Pierce, the winner of my Lakers dad hat giveaway on Father's Day. So it feels like the NBA news cycle has slowed down a bit. Just last week, everyone was talking about Kyrie Irving, players potentially not going to Orlando, and a bunch of other stuff that we've discussed ad nauseum. But now we actually have some interesting Lakers news. Well, kind of Lakers news. But the New York Knicks, they received permission from Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka to interview, Lakers assistant coach Jason Kidd. That according to Tanya Ganguli of the LA Times and a number of other folks. So the Knicks have a revamped front office led by former agent turned team president Leon Rose. And word is they've got like 10 coaching candidates on their list. This is an interesting one with Jason Kidd. So you guys already know this part. I mean, Kidd joined the staff last summer. And so last summer before Frank Vogel got the Lakers head coaching position, the Lakers, they were talking to Tyronn Lue. They were talking to Monty Williams. And it really looked like Ty Lue was the guy that the Lakers were going to hire. And then there were some not so quiet whispers, if you will, about the Lakers wanting Jason Kidd to coach the team, but you know, he's got some issues in his background, and obviously he doesn't have the most stellar coaching record. And so people like Stephen A. Smith were saying that the Lakers really wanted Jason Kidd, and that Jason Kidd would eventually, within a year or two, supplant Frank Vogel as head coach. I mean, and there was a number of other people saying that Kidd would backstab Vogel. And you look at the Lakers at this point, second best record in the NBA, legit title contenders. And you haven't heard a peep from Jason Kidd. Not a peep. The Lakers front office, which in itself is revamped also with Magic Johnson gone, the Lakers front office has been really good this year. And Rob Pelinka, to his credit, he hired Vogel. They brought in Jason Kidd as an assistant. Kidd is the highest paid assistant coach in the NBA. They brought him in. And everything has worked out just fine. You know, aside from the rumors that the Lakers really wanted Kidd to be their head coach or that he might backstab Frank Vogel, you know, there were people saying that Kurt and Linda Rambis were really running the Lakers franchise, and just a bunch of clickbait stuff, a bunch of high school rumors that were baseless. And when you say negative things about the Los Angeles Lakers fans are going to pay attention because we are protective of our franchise, and you know, we're going to call out and defend that team. And then the people that hate the Lakers are going to instantly tune in and retweet and like, and they're going to join the conversation as ways to jab the Lakers and poke fun. And so Lakers and anything is just a recipe for ratings and other things for these networks and some of these news anchors. So a lot of this stuff was really baseless, and you don't hear a peep or whisper these days. And so the Knicks, who themselves have been, I mean, very much a dumpster fire for the better part of a decade. I mean, they were good kind of the mid to late 2000s when Melo got there and Amari was there. They were pretty good. And then before that, you know, they made it to the 99 finals. That was a lockout shortened season. But the Knicks haven't been good at all. And so Leon Rose is now the man in charge, and Kidd is on his short list, I guess, if you want to call 10 names short. I mean, Kidd's done a great job, I think, this season in kind of cleaning up his image within the realm of basketball. Now, make no mistake, Jason Kidd is one of the baddest point guards of all time. I mean, dude was legit. You know, many of us remember that grainy cell phone footage of Kobe saying that, I believe he wanted Jason Kidd. I think that's what he was saying in that footage, if my memory is correct. But he certainly wanted to play with Jason Kidd back before the Lakers got Powell. And so Kidd is an all-time basketball player, but not so much as a coach. He was most recently with the Bucks before joining the Lakers. His record is 139-52, not great. His overall record, which includes his stint with the Nets, makes him 183-90, not great. And so I think a lot of the stuff with Jason Kidd, in regards to his poor coaching record, really stems from him going straight from playing to being a coach. Literally, he was a point guard playing in NBA basketball games, and then he became a coach the following year. And I that was really not a wise decision. Look, he got paid, so he wanted to be a head coach. That's the top job in regards to coaching. I'm sure the money was good, so I don't fault him so much for taking it. But it's very difficult to go from playing the game to coaching the game. And he probably needed some time to kind of work his way back up the ranks in regards to coaching. And so maybe taking some assistant positions or doing something like that. But I think that was the biggest issue, going from the court to the bench and being the top guy in charge. I think being in LA it's probably helped ground him a little bit. Being around Vogel has a really good demeanor. The Lakers have a really solid coaching staff, a veteran coaching staff. They've got veterans on the court. It's helped him take a back seat a bit, I think. And like I said, you don't hear a peep. So, I don't know if I'm surprised that the Knicks want Jason Kidd. They're casting a wide net. And, for the Lakers, there are some rumors that one of the reasons they wanted Jason Kidd is because of his connection to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, that's also rumored to be why the Knicks are looking at him. And so, the idea that a team should hire somebody as a head coach because of their relationship with a star player, like that relationship better be airtight. I don't think that star players are choosing a specific franchise because of the head coach. Now, that is certainly one of the reasons. Who's coaching? Star players want to know who's coaching. They want to have a good relationship with that coach. But they're looking at a number of other things that I think take precedent over the coach, whether that be the market that the team is in, how good the team has been in recent years. Do they have cap space and the ability to bring other superstar free agents? Is living in that particular city, is that great? And one of the reasons the Lakers are attractive and LA is attractive is because it's LA. Hollywood, movie stars, palm trees, money. It's diverse. And so the Knicks have many of those things, except it's New York, it's cold. But aside from that, the Knicks have a lot of those things. Now, the Knicks are not the historic franchise that the Lakers are, no matter how often people want to put the Knicks up there with the Lakers. They're simply not as relevant as a franchise. They haven't won as much, and that's the reality. They're not even close. And so they've got some things that they need to do to really improve, but maybe they do believe that kid could lure Giannis. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But my whole point of saying all this is that Kid coming to the Lakers and the Lakers being good, LeBron he's the point guard now for the Lakers. Kid has helped him make that transition into the full-time point guard. I know LeBron is one of the greatest passers of all time, but Jason Kidd is second all-time in assists. The man has 12,091 assists. He's legit. And so he's rehabbed his image a bit. And so whether or not he takes this job or the Knicks want him, he's going to have other suitors, especially if the Lakers win this season. So the question for him will have to be, does he want to jump back into the hot seat and be the head coach? Certainly being the head coach in New York is the hot seat. Or would he prefer to stay the highest paid assistant coach and be with the Lakers and potentially wait for a better opportunity to come along than the Knicks? I don't know. But it looks like he's going to get a second chance at some point, or a third chance to be a head coach. And it's no surprise that the Knicks are looking at him if they believe that he has a relationship with Giannis. So what I'm going to do is take a quick break, and then Lakers Central will return in a moment.
What's going on, podcast listeners? My name is Brendan Nunez, and I got my guy Adam Taylor that is the co-host of this show as well. And we got the 450 Times going on, a general NBA pod, and there's written content as well at the 450times.com. 3 episodes a week for podcasts.
It's going to be some great NBA content. Brendan and I are both upcoming NBA journalists, and we can't wait for you guys to listen to what we've got coming out.
Come check us out at the 450 Times.
Welcome back to Lakers Central. So, if you didn't do it already, pause the podcast, go to LakersCentral.com, go to the bottom of the page, and sign up for our newsletter. It's a lot of perks, a lot of giveaways and stuff coming, folks. You don't want to miss out. If you need a link, it's in the show notes, but it's LakersCentral.com. So, one of the new writers at Lakers Central, Fahim Mian, he wrote an interesting article the other day, and it was about Kobe, as many things are when it comes to the Lakers. Kobe's only been gone about 5 months. Even if 5 years that went by, we're still going to talk about him and think about what he would do. But Fahim wrote a really interesting article, and the article was titled, "Would Kobe have hung up on players considering sitting out of the NBA season?" And the reason why I think that this article was interesting, and I'm glad that Fahim decided to write it, is because we think of Kobe as this guy who would go through a brick wall to play. And he did. He played with broken bones. He had a broken finger that never healed correctly. He talked about, not wanting to sacrifice time with his family, but he would spend, the time with his family, pick his kids up from school, drop them off, and then middle of the night, early in the morning, he's up at the gym or watching tape or film. The man was dedicated to his craft. He never, he never missed games unless he absolutely had to. He put his body through grueling training to be able to play for those 20 years. He pushed his body to, unseen limits, untold limits, to be able to come back after that Achilles injury and to go out and drop 60 at his last game. I mean, to do that and to play as much as he did in that game, Kobe's a dude that would do anything to play. But I wonder if, when someone asked that question, would Kobe have hung up? I wonder if they're not thinking about Kobe, the man, and if they're just thinking about Kobe, the basketball player. So some of this came up because a week or so ago, Frank Isola said that Kobe would have hung up. Now, here's the thing. As you all know, Kobe's not here. And we don't know what he would do. We don't know what he would say. All we can do is surmise what he would say. And I think, Kobe would not have hung up on those guys. I don't think that at all. I think that he would have heard them out. I think that many of them would have looked to him as an elder statesman of the league, obviously as an iconic player, a legend, one of the greatest to ever do it. They would have looked to him for guidance, very much so how players look at LeBron for guidance. They would have looked to see what Kobe thought. And, in more and more in recent years, Kobe talked more about, what it meant to be a black basketball player. And he spoke about things that were happening to black people, either at the hands of police or in general in America, the issues with racism, issues with diversity, all those things. I think it's easy for Frank Isola to say Kobe would have hung up on those guys. It's easy for him to say it. You know why it's easy for him to say it? Because Frank isn't black. Frank also isn't a basketball player. He has no idea what Kobe would have said, what he would have done. I'm taking a wild guess here. I think Kobe would certainly play in the bubble if he had to, or if that was the only opportunity for him to play or finish the season. I think that he would have respected any other player who opted to not return for the season and either continue their protesting or taking care of their families during the pandemic or whatever reason that they had. I don't think he would have called them soft. I don't think that he would have made light of them for not wanting to return. Kobe knew full well some of the issues that these players face, and that those of us who are just regular citizens that aren't superstars or aren't celebrities or basketball players, what we face as black people in the country. And so I think that it's really lazy and ignorant to channel Kobe when trying to critique these players. Frank was absolutely wrong in doing that. And I don't follow Frank on social media. Sometimes this stuff gets retweeted by some of my followers. He's on NBA radio. Yeah, I used to listen to it quite often, but I often disagree with his opinions, so I don't really listen anymore. But I think that's really lazy. And so, yes, Kobe would have went through a wall to play. But I think as we saw, certainly in his retirement, we saw a man that was much more retrospective, a man that was certainly willing to give back to the game and to the players. He was very supportive of the players. Many of these guys, LeBron, Kyrie, Chris Paul, all these guys that are still playing, they looked up to him. And I think he would have been supportive. I don't think it's right to try to use, the idea of Kobe against these other players. It's laziness wrong. So I don't think that Frank should have done that. Something else that's really interesting, Kobe related as well, is that Clutch Points app, they're going to do a Kobe documentary called Mamba Out. I think it's coming out in July. And I saw it. I didn't see the documentary. I just saw some advertising for it. And I've been asked already a number of times if I thought that whoever, ESPN, whoever, should do a Kobe documentary. And I've said it's too soon. Now, to be fair, I did one myself on Shaq and Kobe, their 3 championships together, called The Last Dynasty. I did do that, and I did it to pay tribute to Kobe and to Shaq. They meant a lot to me during that time when they were winning those 3 championships. I've talked about it on other podcasts. They meant a lot to me during that run for a number of reasons. But in regards to major documentaries coming out by big platforms, I feel like one of the things that made Jordan's The Last Dance so successful is that, one, it was about Michael Jordan, but 2, it was a secret for like 30 years. And I think that matters. I don't think that you have to wait 30 years to do a Kobe doc. I wouldn't want to wait 30 years. But I almost feel like it might be a bit too soon. One, I think the success of Jordan's documentary has sparked a number of others. There's rumors that a Magic Johnson documentary might be happening, which Magic played 30 years ago, just about. I mean, if a Magic doc is coming, then fine, that's appropriate. We may just need to pause on the Kobe documentaries right now. I haven't seen this personally from his wife or children, but other people have said that that they have said, while they appreciate the love and the outpour of support that they get for Kobe and for Gigi, people making fan pages, people constantly making memes or making stuff about Kobe and putting it online. It's hard for them to go on social media and not see that stuff. And it can be upsetting to see all those reminders over and over again. And I've seen some people say, well, maybe they should just stay off of social media. That's ridiculous. I mean, they shouldn't have to do that. And it's not unreasonable for them to say, hey guys, pull back a little bit sometimes. Now, probably they realize that fans aren't. I think they understand that, but by saying that, maybe someone listens. And I've seen people say, well, they're not the only ones grieving. And to that's fair, except they are grieving a husband, a father, a sister, a daughter. We are grieving a hero, a legend, a basketball player. And make no mistake about it, I cried real tears when Kobe died. It was devastating to me. But I also recognize that it was more devastating to his family. And so, guys, tagging them in pictures and photos and stuff about Kobe, that's certainly not appropriate. It's important to let a family grieve. And they know that that Kobe's an icon. They know the murals are all over LA, probably in other parts of the world. Here I am talking about Kobe on this podcast. I don't know if they listen at all, but I think it's important to have a little bit of empathy for them and what they've gone through and what they are still going through. So I just wanted to add that in there. It's not easy losing somebody. It really isn't. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Lakers Central podcast. Again, go to LakersCentral.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to have special giveaways. You'll be eligible for special content. All kinds of things are coming. Go ahead and subscribe. You're not going to get a bunch of spam emails. I've got a bunch of subscribers already. I haven't even sent them anything other than a thank you email for subscribing. That's it. So shout out to everybody for supporting Lakers Central. And until next time, folks, I'm out.